Meeting over here at Sequential Artists Workshop. Still preparing to live stream the meeting at Sequential Artists Workshop. It is 2 minutes past the hour. Aha. Meeting over here. There we are. Streaming. Oh, I think we are. Is everyone getting a message saying we are? Thumbs up. Dana's still working on that. All right, I'm gonna find the other Dana. I can't find the other Dana. We'll sort that out in a minute. Oh, Dana, there we go. All right, I'm gonna unmute, there we go, clicking recording. All right, I'll share my screen and we'll start. And welcome everybody. Hello, hello, hello. It's Friday Night Comics. Maybe it's Friday night where you are. We had an eclipse, we had a change of clocks. No one knows what's going on anymore. It could be who knows? Friday night, let's just call it that. We believe in comics. It's the Friday Night Workshops at Sequential Artists Workshop. Welcome. We are a school, a nonprofit school with online courses. I got to get rid of this. Learn.sawcomics.org. It works, but it's not our favorite URL anymore. Sawcomics.org is better. And you'll find lots of courses there and other things happening, including a course with Matt Madden coming up April 5th. That's Build Your Own Labyrinth. It's a 6-week course about constraint-driven comics. That's what Matt does best. It's super good. Next week in this spot is Kit Frazier, and Kit's going to be doing Unfolding Comics. Also, Ramena Yee is going to do another round of comics layouts. That's starting, I think, April. Shucks, I forgot the exact date, but go click it. But this one is for the Eastern Hemisphere. So it's like 4 a.m. Eastern time, but it's like perfect if you're in Melbourne or Malaysia or Tokyo or even the UK or something. So go check that out if you want a better time for in the Eastern Hemisphere. And also we're getting ready to start the graphic novel development intensive. It starts in June. We have a little early bird thing happening in April, and it's a discount if you join in April. Look for that bird and get your graphic novel going if you're ready for that. And also thank you for your donations. We're not a one-way bank, although we want to be, and that's Popeye's idea, is to be a one-way bank. Just give money away. But we need donations and tuitions and things like that, and we thank you for your donating. Let's see, what else can I tell you? Please, all right, we're getting ready. Please no inappropriate speech or imagery. We like to keep the sharing at PG-13. When you share, you can do the hashtag Friday Night Comics. You can tag us at Comics Workshop. You can go over to members.sawcomics.org and share there as well. I'll put Dana's hashtag or whatever you call it, @ in the chat. And let's watch the time. We're keep these at 90 minutes at a maximum. So if we have to sort of get annoying at the end, we will. But we encourage you to chat in the many, many, many ways there are, including the PDFs that we put together as well. And you can find those at Seesaw Comics. They look like this, and we've made one every month for almost a year now. Actually, I think exactly a year. So there's like 50 up there. Anyway, oh yay. We're here with Dana. I have no idea if Dana's got the stuff ready, because we've been working on those slides, but Dana's one of my favorite creators. Worked for the New Yorker, got a great book out called Skip to the Fun Parts, and applying improv principles to comics is one of my favorite things. So I can't wait to see what happens. Dana, I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna look for Dana or Batman. Who knows what I'll see. There's Dana. Hang on. Spotlight. Do you think you got everything sorted out? Except we can't hear you. Except hang on. Can you unmute? Oh, you know what? Maybe you didn't. Maybe you're no longer. Hang on a second now. Oh, I think. Okay, here you go. I think Dana, you unlogged out, and I had to remake you co-host. That should work.
Okay, yeah, I think we're good. Hey, hey everyone. Yeah, I apologize. I think when we get to the drawing portion, which isn't happening quite yet, I might need a minute or two to set up, but I think for now I can just share my presentation and we should be ready to get going. So yeah, thanks so much, Tom, for having me. I love these Friday Night comic workshops, and I'm going to start sharing my screen. 1 second. And Okay.
Hold on.
All right. I think you should be able to see everything, right?
Nope.
Oh man.
Oh, there we
There
go.
we go.
There
Yeah.
we
Okay.
go.
I can see everything. Okay, cool. I think we're good. Yeah, so hi everyone. Apologies for the the technical difficulties, which are all on me, but I'm so excited to be here because I absolutely love improv and I'm so happy to nerd out tonight on improv. Hang on, just let me get to the, well, this might be, yeah, this might be on the big, as big as we can get it tonight. But yeah, just to give you some background on who I am, I'm an artist and cartoonist. I live in Washington, D.C., and I'm a proud former SAW Low resident. I was there for a week, like 10 years ago now, which is
Oh,
scary.
wow. Really?
It's been a long time, yeah. But yeah, like Tom said, I contribute to the New Yorker, and I do have a book called Skip to the Fun Parts, which came out last year or 2 years ago now. But yeah, available where books are sold. If you wanted to grab a copy, I'd be delighted. But yeah, and I did feel like I had to put this out there as a disclaimer before we get started that I'm not an improv expert. I've taken level 3. And I just want to set expectations because I've taken enough so that I feel like I can see the parallels between cartooning and improv. But you know, I'm not an expert. If you want tips on how to, audition for a Herald team, I'm not the person to ask. Um, but yeah, just wanted to tell you about that. So this is why I started doing improv. So last year I was asked to teach a class at the Omega Institute up in upstate New York. And this class was going to be about creativity and comfort zones. Some of you may have taken like a SAW workshop where I discussed sort of similar principles about that. And so to prepare, because what better way to get out of your comfort zone than improv, I signed up for classes. And then nobody signed up for my my Amiga. So that was a bummer. But it turns out I really like improv. So in the end, I'm the real winner because I've been doing that for about a year, and I really just fell in love. It's my favorite part of my week now, my weekly improv class. And here's some reasons why I love it. The main one is that I feel like it's really good for attention spans. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like with phones and social media and like all the terrible news, it's really, really hard to just be in the moment. And improv forces you to be focused in a way that I have not found for anything else. Um, so it's really good for that. And the other thing is it's really good for making you figure out what's funny. So if you guys, I mean, not everybody wants to be a funny cartoonist. Clearly, that's not a requirement, but improv is really nice for helping you figure out like what makes something funny. How does a joke work? So I think it's really just a great way to get back to the basics there. And most importantly, I think it rewards being a good listener. So if you're already a good listener, you can enhance that skill. And if you're not a good listener, you can become a better one just by taking improv classes. So those are some, selling points. Um, and then this is a quote from Abby Jacobson from Broad City. She talked about doing improv when she had just graduated from art school and was trying to be an actress and was just randomly wound up taking improv lessons and totally fell in love with them, which I think is what happens to a lot of people. They and this quote is a lot longer, but she talks about it as though it's like she's taken this drug and discovered a new color. And like the ultimate goal is just to be present and to laugh and to, have that sort of chance for collaboration and connection. But yeah, you get hooked immediately if you get into it. So that is my spiel and for improv. But okay, what does this have to do with comics? So improv is a really good tool for just generating ideas quickly. Um, and we'll get more to that in a bit, but it's really, if you're trying to like think of ideas fast, improv kind of forces you in a way that you don't really get if you're just like looking at a blank sheet of paper. And it also gives you some good principles for how to express emotion, and what your starting points are for that. And I think it's really good for making bold statements. So if you're being vague or mealy-mouthed, it kind of gets you out of that habit. And it doesn't mean it can't be nuanced, but I think it really helps you just, articulate what you are trying to say and say it with conviction. So the very first rule of improv is do not try to be funny. Like just try to be honest because like if you just go up to in an improv class and just try to be funny immediately, that usually is setting yourself up for failure. And I think that's also a reason why people avoid improv. Like they're just like, oh my God, I have to think of several funny ideas on the spot and in front of all these strangers. And yeah, that sounds like nightmare fuel. Like I don't think too many people would want to do that. Um, but if you start from like a place of honesty where you're just saying like, what does it mean to feel sad? What does it that's a that helps you. That's a much stronger starting point. Um, and just for an example, this is one of my New Yorker cartoons called Know Your Procrastination, and it's one of the most popular and least funny cartoons I've ever done because it's basically our honest statements about procrastination. And here I was not at first trying to be funny. It just sort of like led naturally because I was talking about the different types of procrastination. Um, Rule number two is how to heighten. So heightening is a pretty common concept in comedy. It means from, you go from small to big, from like not crazy to crazy. Um, so essentially you kind of like start with some ground rules and then you take things to an extreme. So it's basically like the yes and improv principle in action, but you're intentionally escalating. So as another New Yorker cartoon example, this is one I did a couple years ago called Fashionable Outfits for Working from Home. And it starts with like a guy who's just wearing a suit, then he's not wearing pants, and then by the end of the cartoon, he's wearing an astronaut costume. So essentially you want to heighten by pushing the boundaries of like but staying grounded in whatever world you've created. So there's that tension between like the familiar and the absurd, and you want to make sure that you get to the absurd place but in a kind of a logical way.
Hmm.
And this is a lesson from Tom, actually, because Tom has a lot of cartoon wisdom, as you guys probably know if you're here. But in my residency, I remember I was doing this little comic about my worst job, and I was working on like this little scene about me waitressing very badly. And at one point, he pointed out, like, this is a cartoon. Like, you can just exaggerate, like, and convey emotion. And I wish I had a before and after to show you, because this is how I was trying to exaggerate just to show how of a bad waitress I was. But I think it's just a really good lesson to have in your back pocket. Like, what can I exaggerate? How can I take advantage of this being a comic? And in improv, of course, you don't want to heighten too soon. And in comics, you don't necessarily have that constraint. But the main thing to just remember is like you start from that place of honesty. Like you want to show how something feels. You don't necessarily need to show, be accurate. Um, and then you want to play, but you also want to make sure your audience knows the rules of the world you're creating. So there's a concept called a base reality, which is where you just establish like the who, what, where, who the characters are, what their relationship is to each other, where they are, and from there you can go nuts. And cartoons are kind of great because they come in with these built-in parameters like panels, which you can take advantage of structurally. Um, and this is a cartoon I love for like many, many reasons by the great Richard Thompson. But
Oh.
but it's a good example of just kind of like establishing a base and then getting more absurd and then coming back to reality again. And also, using panels as a way to show how you can sort of break free of them if you're trying to show somebody hallucinating or trying to really struggle. Um, but yeah, if you don't know Richard Thompson already, please look him up. He's one of the greats. And now I guess we can start with some exercises, and I'm gonna try to make sure that my phone is set up so that I can share the drawing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but in the meantime, if there's any questions in the chat or stuff you guys want to talk about, maybe we can.
Well, so
You're there?
you find that phone and then I'll have you read this out loud. I'm putting it in the chat as well, though.
Okay, yeah.
Um, I'm trying to write down what you got there, but I'm having a problem with the brackets. Okay.
Can you guys see like a piece of paper?
I'm gonna look for you because
Okay.
you're not oh no, we see your face. You gotta flip it.
It's like the most unflattering angle too. Yep. All right. Hang on.
Um,
There we
and
go. Okay.
yeah, we can see, but we're gonna have to have
Okay. I think.
you're gonna have to unshare, but that's okay because I've got what you wrote in the chat there.
Okay. That's right.
Um,
I'll stop sharing.
okay.
Okay.
And I'll put that in the chat again. However,
Work my phone. So
actually all we're seeing is like, ah, there we go, getting there.
I'm
Okay.
getting there. Yeah.
Okay.
Last time I tried this, I like signed myself out accidentally. So I'm being very careful now. Hang on.
Dana,
Yeah.
I gotta tell you about the improv dream I had literally last night. But
Seriously? Oh yeah, please
yeah,
tell me.
well, would it help you with this tech or should I tell you later?
No, please tell me. Yeah, this is
Okay. So I dreamed I I dreamed we were a bunch of people were performing, and I'm
okay.
not a very good performer. And
Good.
but suddenly I thought, well, I guess I can try something. I guess I can tell a story in verse on the fly, which I
Wow.
something cannot do, but on in the fly. But
Wow.
and then I started making up a story about I think a frog that I would be able to tell on the fly in verse. And then when I got up there, I said, just give me a word, anybody. And the word from the audience in my dream was Orange Julius. And I in the fly on in the dream on the fly. No one wants to hear this. I can't believe I'm telling a dream on a Zoom call. I
No, no,
feel
keep going.
I
You have to
I made
get
this
this.
whole story in verse about Dr. J and OJ Simpson who were friends, but then they had this falling out. And one of the rhymes was things got weird. There was blood in his beard. And then and then there was a trial and all sorts of things. Anyway, so anyway, I'll tell the rest some other day. But one reason I came up with that is because Gail is asking for a prompt. But let's go through those three things you wrote down in the step, the ABC, and then I'll put
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
chat again. Here we go.
Yeah, okay. Got him.
Yes, it is here in the chat. It's the last thing in the chat right now.
So speaking of cartoon ideas and dreams, and this is also off topic, but I had a dream where I was in the Olympic team for the Stairmaster. Like this was a real thing and everybody took it very seriously. And I've been desperate to figure out like how I can actually expand on that, but
All right, we'll talk after the call. But
my back pocket. Yeah.
so
Anyway.
so here's what I'm seeing. Exercise A to B to C. Start with a word, and I think some people would like, how do I think of a word? Um,
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to be in word. Your word is lamppost.
oh, okay.
Okay. And then, but before you, so you can draw a lamppost. So I'm going to draw a lamppost just as a, just to get us all started. However, your lamppost manifests itself. It can be like a fancy British one.
If
We'll
I
see.
don't want to do lamppost, can I do a word that or do I have to
Absolutely.
start with lamppost? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you need a word, we're doing lamppost.
Oh,
Then I want you to say, so lamppost makes me think of, and then whatever the word lamppost makes you think of, or whatever word you started with.
okay.
So lamppost makes me think of an Aladdin genie lamp. If I can figure out how to draw that. So it's a little thing, and yeah. Yeah. Okay, genie lamp. Okay, and then next step is you're gonna say like, and your second word makes you think of a third word. So a genie lamp makes me think of a genie. So I'm gonna just draw a genie.
Okay.
Another, we'll see how crazy I can get this genie. Of course, he has a little mustache. He should have an earring, I guess. Um, but the improv concept that this is using is something called A to B to C thinking. So essentially, if you ever get a word of inspiration, which happens in essentially every improv situation. They always ask the audience for a word. Use that word to think of another word, and then use that other word to think of a word after that. And that's the idea. And I think that's just a really nice tool for coming up with ideas in generally. Like if you're just stuck for a cartoon or you're trying to think of, what does this spark? Just think of revert back to words and think like this word makes me think of this and this makes me think of this.
Mm. I
So,
went to Close Encounters, the big UFO with the big bright lights.
oh
That's what
yeah,
I
that's
like.
what we got for lamp.
Lamppost LED Close Encounters.
Oh, that's great. I did this with my husband as like a warm up, and he got to like chipmunk in the UFO somehow. That's also, yeah, a lot of space alien stuff kind of comes up.
Yeah, maybe that's a little natural. I didn't want to.
Yeah. Oh, so you want to, okay, so you're doing like Jumbo, what void.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I think, hmm, let me see.
I
Lamppost,
mean,
Douglas Adams, Porpoise. These are great.
yeah, I don't have any problem with void. Is void a problem?
I think it's maybe a little abstract, but yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
I just imagine like a blank, like an ink splot. That would be, in the unknown. Oh, Narnia, that's great.
Yeah, lamppost Narnia. Oh, lion. Uh-huh. Lamppost nighttime traffic. I almost went there, Walter, because I've been really harping on nighttime driving. Roof, King of the World. Lamppost park tree. Lamppost bus stop school student. Pie, ice cream, coffee. Sally says I'm transparent.
Seems like
Should
that,
we
yeah.
have been trying in this should we just have like gone with first thought, or should we have been trying to quote heighten in the way that you said it to heighten?
It's either one. Like I think sometimes you're like, I don't like that word, and your brain just automatically thinks of a new one. So, um, and yeah, and I guess sometimes it's like, yeah, not these don't necessarily have to make sense to somebody else. They just have to make sense to you, especially for comics. Like there's not an audience that you're really need to explain these things to. Okay. So now we have three words. We have our first word, our second word, and our third word. Um, and now second part of the exercise is okay, so take your C word, like the third word that you thought of, and I want you to think of a character that that word reminds you of.
Okay, sorry. I'm gonna write that in the chat. The
Yeah.
take C word and think of what?
Think of a character or person that word reminds you of.
Oh, all right, that's in the chat.
Okay.
Now yours is a genie, so it's already a character. Are you gonna think beyond that?
I might stick with Genie. We'll see.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, Genie makes me think of, yeah, I'll go with Genie for now. Just to make that easier. And I want you to put that character into a setting.
Okay. And now are we drawing?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can draw a character in their setting. And if you need a word of suggestion or a setting example, say library.
Okay.
So now I'm going to draw my genie in a library.
What kind of library? Could be anything, right?
That's true. Yeah, library. But yeah, if you're like I'm not feeling library, choose your own setting. Book.
How long are we gonna have for this? A minute or two?
Yeah, let's say like 2 minutes.
I don't want to go to Alien. That's too easy. I'm gonna do I'm gonna do Richard Dreyfuss
Okay.
in the mud.
Oh wow. I'm gonna have to see this.
Don't don't put me on the spot.
No, no, no. Sorry, sorry. That's okay.
That's okay.
You get you get host privileges.
Yeah. No, it'll be all right.
Captain Quinn from Jaws. I love that.
Oh, funny. Yeah, another Richard Dreyfuss quite
Yeah.
connection. Yeah, when you said think of a character, some people might have thought, although it didn't come up in the chat, people might have thought, oh, does it have to be an original character or can it be something from something I'm used to? Or does it have to be one or the other?
Yeah, no rules in improv, I guess.
No rules. Okay, yeah, either or.
But there are rules, but there's no rules. It's like one of those things. Um,
Ah, you broke the only rule.
yes. Yeah. Very frustrating when you're trying to learn, right? Okay. Oh, that's a good one. New York City cabbie, that's rich. There's a lot you can do with that. Okay. So now you can still keep drawing, but we're going to move to our next exercise, which is so your character is in some sort of setting, and you're going to answer 3 questions and draw as you answer them. First question, why are they there?
Wait, are we making three separate drawings? Or
Um, Not necessarily, but you just want to, and you can even just like write this out if you want to.
okay, you
But
can
you
look.
want to answer the first question you want to answer is why are they there?
Okay.
And you don't have to be clever when you say this. Like if I want to say like my genie is in the library because, you know, he wants to read a book. You can be basic here. You don't have to you don't have to think too hard at this point. But the second question is what do they believe that would put them there?
Oh.
So you actually want to get in this character's head a little bit.
So what about your genie?
So this character thinks, I don't know, that to be an effective genie, you should see what the kids are reading these days. Or, he's just really wants to know what the latest Colleen Hoover book is. Maybe that's more bookstore than a library. Um, and then after that, what are 5 things that they might do at a library or at whatever setting they're in? Um,
Okay.
and the concept that we're emphasizing with this is called if this is true, what else is true? And that's another thing that comes up in improv. When you are creating your world, you want to ground it in something that gives you some sort of like how are you going to make your decisions? And one way you can make your decisions is to figure out what you can say about your character or world. And if that thing is true, then what else can you infer from it?
Okay, I'm putting the questions down again in case anybody missed it. Why are they there?
Hmm.
What do they believe that would put them there? And
Hmm.
what are 5 things they might do in that setting? Great. If this is true, what else is true? So are you going to write down these answers for yourself?
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
5 things. And like I said, these can just be, the first things that come to mind. Don't try to you don't have to try to be funny.
Mhm.
You are just here to play.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but like you talked about the benefit of becoming a good listener, and this when we're working alone, we're sort of listening to our own subconscious, our own ideas, are right a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Yeah, because I think it's no, if there's a person right in front of you, it's a little easier because, you are forced to listen to them, but being forced to listen to yourself is it's actually a little harder in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause you're trying to because you're probably your own worst critic. You're gonna like reject a lot of your ideas like out
Mhm.
of hand. Like, that's too basic or that's too obvious. But yeah, that's a really good point. Okay. So my genie's at the library and he is reading, I don't know. Let's see. How to grant wishes to the ungrateful.
And I like that your ideas are changing too. It seems like, you had one idea, but as you put the pencil to paper, it becomes another idea.
Exactly, yeah. The magic of comics, because you are thinking as you are drawing.
Mm.
And why he's there. Maybe he wants to play chess with the or I shouldn't write maybe, but yeah. Playing chess with others at library.
So I'm asking for a friend, but what happens if you get to like question two and you're like, this is stupid?
Well, you're a question two, and there's like three things. I mean, this doesn't have to be smart, is the thing. It's an exercise, we're not trying to make a finished product here. It's mostly just like a tool you have in your tool belt as a way to think about things and think about justifying decision.
Mm. Okay, good. So I don't have to have knocked it out of the park with my answer.
No, no,
Three.
exactly. No, you are, like you said, don't try to be clever necessarily if you can't. Like, my guy at the library, like he wants to, I'm trying to think, I just went to the library. Reserve a book or use the computer. What else would the genie want to do? Or admire the architecture. This might be a DC thing. We got really nice libraries here. They're always getting redone.
Oh God, you're outside of DC. Are things insane there?
Oh yeah, no, well, yeah, because everybody works for the government, so everybody's morale is low. We'll just say that.
All right.
Yeah. But there's a fighting spirit still.
Hmm.
Or how about tutor? Say this genie wants to tutor a kid in English.
Oh boy, we're getting some puns in the
Genealogy. There you go. They give me more than five things if you find a good one. I wish I thought of genealogy. I'm gonna actually add that research. Okay. And I have one more exercise for us to play with, and then maybe we can start sharing.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I need one more minute.
Oh
Can
yeah,
we
yeah, yeah. Let's
one more
let's
minute?
give ourselves, yeah, a couple more
Okay.
minutes. Sorry, I don't want to rush everybody.
People are admiring your pencil.
Oh yeah. These are great, except my God, you have to sharpen them like every 5 minutes. They're really nice pencils. Gail, it's either or. If you want, like, I think for 5 ideas, if you just want to like jot them down as notes, that's fine. But if you want to like draw your way, draw into something for whichever idea you think is the most illustrious, yeah, start doing that. All right. Gonna draw him again real quick. All right, I'm going to move on to the second exercise, and then we can start sharing.
Okay. Awesome.
So this is basically a kind of a beginner level 1 exercise, but it's also surprisingly fun. So I want you to start by just drawing any character. It can be like a stick figure, it can be whatever your if you have like a go-to guy that you draw, just start there. And I want you to give him an emotion. So in the example here, I have start with the character saying, I feel scared. If you need an emotion, it could be whatever emotion you're that's speaking to you.
Okay.
So I'm gonna draw my guy.
You're not drawing your genie, you're drawing a different person, a sort of go-to character kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
In this case, the character's talking to somebody else.
Should they be talking to our character from the previous thing?
They can, yeah, if you want to. Um, yeah, or you can do a new one if you're feeling like, I need to freshen it up. Yeah.
I think a character reacting to what I just drew would be a good idea.
Yeah. In my head, for some reason, when I was like thinking of this exercise, I was thinking new character, but I like the idea of just like expanding on it. So I'm gonna bring my genie over. And he has a book still because he just came back from library. All right. And if you need an emotion, like I said, we can use fear. So the character saying, I feel scared. Fear. That's one. Step 2 is the second character validates.
Oh.
So the character is yes anding. The character saying, you look scared.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think with comics, yes anding is a little like I don't know if that translates quite as much because, it's very important if you're on stage and you're trying to work, work in this ensemble with cartooning, it's more like, well, you're yes anding yourself. So I couldn't really think of like an exercise necessarily that would reinforce that. But here we are. Here we are actually, these characters are in agreement.
Well, that's a certain kind, it creates a certain kind of plot, right? Like, so if
Exactly.
one character says, I feel scared, and the other character says, you look scared, well, we got to do something about that fear, right? Or do
Exactly.
something with that fear rather than I feel scared, you don't look scared. Then that just sort of
Yeah. Yeah. Then
becomes a fight.
exactly. Yeah. Then, okay, nothing's happening. So this guy's just dismissing your feelings.
Okay, so that I like that. Step 2, validate.
Yeah. Validate the first character. So our genie is saying, you look scared. And then step 3 is the first character has to justify why.
Oh my God, I didn't know there were 3 steps. All right, hold on.
It's actually 4.
3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there's gonna be one more step. All right,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, step 3, the first character has to, sorry, what?
Sorry. For step 3, the first character justifies why they might be scared. And
Oh,
again,
okay.
this does not have to be clever. You can like, why would you feel scared? You just saw a ghost. I watched a scary movie.
Mhm.
Just try to think 5 reasons you might be scared. There was a monster under my bed. You know, I just watched the news. Anything that, might inspire fear. I guess this is getting dark quick, so maybe we should start with a happier emotion,
Oh,
but we can, yeah, there's still some fun stuff you can do with fear.
morale is low.
Morale is low, yeah. Okay. Yeah, for me, maybe your husband just watched a documentary on nuclear war, which is a real life example, but that's kind of dark.
Can
What is,
you
yeah,
can you
sorry.
scoot your, can you scoot your paper up a little
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah, sorry. Yeah,
thanks, thanks.
yeah, yeah. Oh, there we go. And I'm gonna draw my character sitting down because I'm running out of space.
I love your big-nosed character.
Oh, thanks. Um, so like, yeah, I'm gonna go saw ghost. And another principle in improv is that you want there to be some justification. Like you don't want people acting nuts for no apparent reason. The audience is just going to get confused, and probably if you're doing a comic, your viewers might get a little confused. You want there to be some sort of like rhyme or reason to what's going on. And the justification doesn't have to be like logically make sense, but you do want it to be grounded in whatever like base reality you've created.
Mm.
But once you have a justification and some sort of philosophy that your character has, then then you got a good starting point. Then that means you have folks who are, feeling and thinking and are going to have opinions. And from there you can play with that.
What's step 4?
And step 4 is we're going to add something else. So, and this can be a number of things. And this is not improv specific. These are just ideas I thought of to kind of close out a 4-panel comic. So you can add and now I feel panel. So that your first character is given some sort of justification. He can be relieved, like, and now I feel relieved because somebody has understood my fear of ghosts. Or what if we panel? Like, oh, what if we go call the Ghostbusters based on, the principle of yes anding what the first character is saying. Or what if we decided to, turn off the news and go to the movies instead because I want to make you feel better. Or we can add a meanwhile panel to show what's happening elsewhere that relates to that emotion. So you could, show a scene of like the ghost who is, just hanging out watching TV while the other people are scared. Then there's a later that day panel, or you can say like the consequences of whatever just happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any number of sort of ending type of panels. I wrote, you said, and now I feel panel, or what if we,
Yeah.
or meanwhile, or later that day, or some sort of consequences or something.
Yeah. Or even like a confession, like the truth is panel, like somebody could just
Oh,
confess something.
that's what I want. The
Yeah.
truth is, the
Mhm.
truth, right? Just
Yeah.
crossing the other thing out.
Hmm. All right. So maybe since we got a genie to play with, we can say
Oh, right.
that genie is going to drop some knowledge and be
Library didn't become too important in my last final iteration.
that can happen sometimes.
Yeah.
So maybe our genie can say like, it was probably a genie. You need, we're cool.
We're cool.
But from there, we can play with that.
So nice. And it's so simple, right? And it's just
Yeah.
a little thing. When you work this way, do you feel like, well, I don't know if you normally work the way you just demonstrated, but do you feel like you're often giving yourself something to revise? Because what I did, I was just like, oh, this is kind of zany and like insane, but I could revise it into something that's really great, I think.
Yeah, no, and it might not even go anywhere in the first place, but you're basically just like giving yourself a little, your exercise. You're just playing. It
Yeah.
does, it's um, but yeah, and I guess and that's a really good point because I think that's the other thing with comics that makes it a little more of a challenge because, if you're just like playing in an improv game, like everything's off into the ether when you're done.
Mhm.
It's fine. But like with a comic, it's like, okay, I took some time, I drew that out. I want to, it feels a little more like there's more permanence to it. Like there might
Right.
be something that you want to explore. But I think also getting into like that improv mentality where like everything is just, you're just playing. You don't have to create like something amazing. You are just jotting ideas out and trying to come up with the dialogue and trying to figure out like, where is the truth can be super useful.
Yeah, that's a nice way to think of it, just playing and looking for the truth. I like that.
Yeah, it's no, it's funny. Well, I don't know. I know at least one cartoonist here is into improv. I guess too, if yeah, because you said you took some lessons, but yeah, I think
Yeah, I love it.
yeah, I think I don't know. It gets a yeah, I because I immediately was like, oh my God, this is great. This is really such a good tool for drawing and coming up with ideas and just a way of thinking that, and I think that's the addicting part.
Is it making your cartooning easier?
Nothing makes cartooning easier, but I think, but it's also, but it's a tool you have in your tool belt, and I think it makes me think about like I was saying, like breaking down humor a bit more, and just like being able to like embrace the honesty more, and not too much, pressure on yourself.
Cool. Should we take a look at see what people have come up with?
Yes, absolutely.
If and hey Dana, really fast, if you can, raise your Zoom hand. That's
Oh
going
yeah,
to be low on your
computer or the
yeah, your computer. And it might be hard to find. Sometimes it's under React, but other times it's right next to React.
okay.
See if you can find it. But
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, it's hard. I'm gonna send a thumbs up.
actually, no, you got to you got to raise your Zoom hand.
Wait, why is it not letting me? I don't see a
Is it
hand.
under React? Is it under
No
there might
react. I don't see a hand, but let me
no? See if
hang on.
okay. It's okay. If this is the thing I said earlier, I said I'm going to ask you to do something that's not going to work, and this is the thing that's not going to work, but we're going to try it anyway.
Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Can I use any other reaction? Because I have all
No,
these.
you got to no, it's got to be Zoom hand. Does it not have raise hand anywhere? Is there a heart with a little
Yeah, I see a heart with react, but then when I open it up, it just says balloon, rocket ship, thumbs up, laughing emoji, celebrate heart.
somebody says one person says click the heart instead of the carrot, and then another person says tap on your own window.
Do you see all the hearts that I just generated?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you can you I think let's see, and then somebody else says tap your own window, then a bar comes up with reactions. I've never done that. Oh, duh.
Wait,
Yeah, if you can find your that does work. At least it worked for me. And
wait.
if
Sorry,
you
tap your bar?
huh? No, well, this is so fun. Um,
Mhm.
If you see your face, click your face and just see if that brings
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
that
Okay.
bring up a raised hand.
Yeah, hang on.
Okay.
View my profile. No, that's not it.
How about all right, maybe it didn't come up. Maybe it never will. Oh, Darlene thinks I can go to the participant list and do it, but I don't think I can. I've tried that
You can't
before.
force somebody else to raise their hand.
No, I don't think so. But you know what? No, I can't do that. That doesn't work. Not from my
What if I raise my hand and then
that
AI
should, believe it or
magically?
not, that should work. But that I don't know. You know what? Let's just forget it. Because the funny thing is that remember that I said it's not going to work. The thing that's not going to work is the Zoom AI will lower your hand without telling you because it thinks you don't need it anymore, and that's really ridiculous. So that's okay. But we've
I,
got some people who want to share. So should we take a
okay,
look?
great. Yeah, yeah, please. Let's do that.
Okay, I'm going to remove your spotlight and you know what? I'm going to spotlight you, and I think what we can do is add spotlights and we'll see if that works or not. We're going to go to Judith first, then to Alan, then to Walter or Sally.
Okay.
So Judith, we'll add spotlight and see what Judith says. Here we go.
I like that the time change, it's only 1 o'clock in the morning when the class starts instead of 2.
Wait, what country are you in?
I live in Jerusalem in Israel.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I have family there.
Oh, oh really?
Yeah,
In
yeah.
Jerusalem?
Yeah, not too far in them. Actually, somewhere in Tel Aviv. So, but yeah.
Okay. Anyway, it was very hot. We had winter last week and very hot weather this week. It's very odd. So when you suggested I'll show you the very first prompt, which is over here. The first one I thought of was laughter, and
Mhm.
then hilarious. This was like, what word? And then the third one was hilarious went to out of control in a good way, which is kind of what I wish would happen. I love laughing, but sometimes you need someone to laugh with. And then you said lamppost, and I got to dark night over here, and I got to drunk, and which was kind of obvious. I mean, maybe that's just a 50s thing, but I grew up with lampposts at night where there was always a drunk, right? In the cartoon.
No,
When I,
you're right. Yeah, yeah.
um, anyway, so then I'm trying to remember where I did this. So we have um the person, which turned out to be me, is drunk at a bar. And it says that it's a neighborhood friendly bar, not sleazy. There's good tequila, and the prompts are drinking and drawing and feeling like I'm doing something worthwhile. Okay, so
Oh,
that's
nice.
good. It
Yeah.
was partially based on something that happened last week. And then I think I have to see the pages. So then that same person is feeling a certain way, and the person is feeling perfectly comfortable being alone as long as I'm still drawing. And you could see in the bar, there's all these other people, they're couples, and I'm sitting alone at the bar. And then I'm observing myself saying, "Do you do this often? Is this a good idea?"
Mhm.
And then I answer, "I had a good time, not such great drawing after the third drink," which is too bad, but there you go.
Yeah, it's that balance of like drinking just enough so you get unself-conscious, but not too much that
So
yeah.
that it reminded me that as long as I'm drawing, it doesn't really matter where I am or
Mm.
what else is going on. I just feel fine. So that's good to remember.
That is
No.
good to remember. Yeah, I need to. It's funny. I was always drawing like in bars and out and about when I was younger, and then I kind of just I got self-conscious somehow, and then I don't know. I need to get back to that place where it's just
I
like
got
whatever.
less self-conscious when I was a teenager, and I grew up in New Jersey, and it was the 60s. So there was cafes, that with folk music and stuff like that. And it was dark.
Mm.
And I started then to draw in public. And then it didn't matter if I was with anybody. It didn't matter if anybody was talking to me. I just felt completely. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Thanks, Judith.
Yeah, Tadar Rabah.
All
That's
right,
awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
we'll go to Alan next. All right, let's see. Alan will probably
Okay.
want.
Oops.
Here we go.
Okay, so I usually do mine on the computer, so let's see if I can share my screen. Yes, okay.
No, I
Um,
don't think so. Hang on.
should be,
Yeah.
oh, whoops.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Okay, wait, why is it not, is it working? Do you see it?
Yep. It
Yes.
is.
Okay. Okay, so I didn't realize first you're going to stop at 3, so I kept going after lion, went to cat, and was going to go on, and then you said go to the third thing, so I stopped there. But yeah, I was wondering, lamppost, a terribly drawing lamppost. I don't know. I'm a lot stressed right now, so my drawings are worse than usual. I feel like today everything's very sloppy. I'm sorry, but lamppost, then Narnia, and then lion. And then when you said to think of a character, well, I didn't want to just go with the character, Aslan from Narnia, because I would just think Narnia, so I had a different lion character. So I decided to go with the cowardly lion from Wizard of Oz. I guess I'm going literary today.
Yeah.
It's apparently terrified of the books for some reason. But anyway,
That's on character, yeah.
so he's going to read about courage. I'm reading here the red badge of courage. Because he thinks he's a coward, and I try to think of a way to convey that without words. So the yellow belly there with a single splash of color. So things he would do in the library: get startled by sudden sounds, send an email to Dorothy, hide under a table in the children's section, try to make mean faces in the bathroom mirror, mistake children for munchkins. And then we said draw a second character. Oh,
go ahead.
we said draw a second character. If I'm not given other instructions, drawing characters, I tend to go with weird monsters. So I drew a weird monster who is just in a panic. And so the lion acknowledges his panic. I know a lot of things are scary right now, but there's no need to panic. I forgot to bring the book I meant to return. It's 3 months overdue. Wait, maybe I left it on my spaceship. You're an alien? Ah! Okay. So it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I guess that's often true of improv. But that's what I ended up with. So
No, you got no, those characters are like, yeah, they did exactly what you'd expect them to do, and that was exactly how you expect them to behave. That was amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alan. Yeah, you guys are getting it. We'll go to Walter next when Walter's ready. There we go. And then we'll go to Sally.
All right. So my original words were lamppost, nighttime, and traffic. So I just drew some little doodles there. And then my New York City cabbie was in a library. And it was because he got a fare to Ohio and he needed to know how to get there and not get lost. And there's some things that he would do when he was in there. There he is in the library. And he's the one who had the emotion, so he got surprised. And I did all these in one panel instead of 3.
Yeah.
The librarian validates his surprise. And he's surprised because he had no idea how Ohio was that far, because a typical New Yorker. And he decides to take it anyway, but just buy a bunch of groceries so that he can make it there, and he gets back out to his fare. This was fun. It was like improv. Imagine that.
Yeah, flying like this on the seat of your pants. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, cabbies, that's a great character. That you could do so much with a cabbie.
Yeah.
Thanks, Walter.
Thank
we'll go
you.
to Sally next. Here we go. Let's see.
So mine started out with pie, ice cream, coffee. I am going to have pie as soon as we're done with this.
Yeah,
And-
Friday.
It's
Oh,
in the
yeah.
library, thinking, is it okay for me to be here? It didn't used to be okay, or drinks used to be in the library used to be a no-no. I'll disguise myself. And then I decided it was way too hard to draw it in a hoodie repeatedly. So, and it's looking at coffee origins. And then here's the other character that came in as a water bottle. I'm scared the librarian will kick me out. Yeah, she kicked me out last week. Why? I spilled. That's it. I'm getting out of here. Before I get into trouble.
Oh, I love that.
Fun.
Yeah, no, that's another thing about improv that you often forget. Like, you don't have necessarily, your character does not have to be a human, or even an inanimate object is a totally valid character too.
Awesome.
I
Thanks,
find
Al.
that easier.
Yeah.
This is so delightful. All right,
Yeah.
we'll go to Maria next. Here we go.
Am I
Yeah, you're on. Maria. Can you see?
okay? Hi, everybody. This has been very helpful. Okay, I'll just show you the emotion and then the validation and the final comic. I don't know. Can you read that? I'm scared.
Yeah.
Um,
You look scared.
You look scared. Sorry, this is so short and I can't remember. The future is so scary, and then his friend says, "That's why I live in the moment."
Sounds like a calming presence.
Yes. Thank you. It was very helpful.
Oh yeah,
Thanks,
no, that's a
Maier.
great, yeah, great physicians.
Awesome. Thanks. We'll go to Eli. Let's see. Here we go.
Hi. I had to listen to this mostly while I was running home from work, so I didn't get to do a 4 panel, but let's see, where am I at? A skull, a snowman, and then a skunk were the 3 things that I was thinking of. And so I was have this snowman up on a stage, and he's holding, that's supposed to be a skull. And he's doing Macbeth, and he can't remember his line. And this is me as the director. I imagine if I'm a director of a play, I'll be wearing purple pants, probably. And so he's thinking the 5 things he's thinking the snowman's thinking about is putting on makeup and costume, trying not to read the reviews, worry about melting in the stage lights like the last time, doing voice warm-ups, and I won't sing Frosty the Snowman, but that would be the idea. And then frantically trying to find his misplaced carrot nose before he goes on stage.
Awesome. Yeah, and
Thank you. That's really
exact-
fun.
yeah, they follow. They're very logical too. That is exactly what a snowman would do.
Thanks, Eli. Okay. Let's see. Remove spotlight. We'll go to Jeannie next.
Hey, thanks, Dana. This is really great. My daughter does improv, and so I told her about it. She thought it was a really cool idea.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so I started with lamppost, wherever that is. Lamppost. And then I went to lamp boast. I was thinking about a lamb boasting. And then I changed to lamp roast, but instead of the edible variety, I went to a lamb roasting, a bunch of lambs roasting a shepherd. And so this one's saying, he's so whiny, wolf, wolf. And then what is this one? This one is trying to validate the emotion. So this is the shepherd saying, well, there could have been a wolf. And then this character is doing something with the truth. Let's see, what's it say? It says, justifies the reason. And the lamb is saying, but was there? And then this is a wolf in lamb's clothing. And that's the truth. So there was.
Oh, that's awesome.
This was wonderful. Yeah. This was wonderful. Thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank Jeannie.
Thank you. Hope you do improv with your daughter at some point.
Yeah. We'll go to Jackie now. Do you find that happens, Dana, with like in a regular setting with improv friends? Do you like get into improv mode when you're having dinner or something?
Not yet. I think I haven't made like I'm friends with them in class, but we haven't like done like outside improv hangs yet. It's definitely with cartoonists. You kind of get into like, everybody's kind of riffing. So yeah.
Right. Okay, we'll go to Jackie.
Hey, Jackie.
Hi, Dana. Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, I was like, I went to, first thing I did with Lamppost was went to sex worker. I'm like, that's not going to end well. So I went to light bulb and then idea, mad scientist in the laboratory.
That's solid. Yeah.
It's got a little fudge and my cat ate my correction tape. So this is, I shall create a pie with all the legs of a centipede. And like in the other character, I got her confused at the first and the second.
Oh my gosh, one of your cows.
Yes, one of my cows. Yes, it's Long John.
Hey, buddy.
That's disgusting, master. It is disgusting. You have pie, which is delicious, and centipedes, which are filthy yet charm-filled creatures. And then my meanwhile is the pie's like, get me on fast food. Blah, blah. The pie with the centipede legs is running away. And like the different things, the 5 things you might do in the settings, mix pretty colors, random chemicals because it looks cool, smash centipedes into a pie, put centipedes on one end of an electrode and vice versa to like change brains, make soda pop, and speak in a Peter Lorre voice. Yeah, this was super fun, Dana. Thank you.
Oh, sure. Thanks. I love that pie with the centipedes at the bottom.
Yeah.
And I like that your cats are not, or want to get on the action. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're a couple of narcissists. So
aren't they all? That's awesome.
Right.
thank you.
Thanks, Jackie. All right, we'll go to share next. Here we go. Oh, can you unmute? Hang on. There we go. Try it again.
So I thought of Singing in the Rain, and then I thought of bats. I don't know why. So I drew Batman in the library, and then I thought he was gonna like brush his teeth or something, but I liked what Alan said about making a mean face in the mirror. So it's me, and I'm like, I'm stressed. He's like, you look stressed. Oh, I can't even read it. I say, you don't look reassuring. He's like, why don't I take off my mask? It's keeping in all the hair.
Wow.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And I feel like these are like, I don't know, people feel like more free with comics than they do with improv because like nobody's watching, or just because, you're just on your own, so you can go as crazy as you want to go. I don't know. Maybe comics are like, I don't know. They open people up in a way that improv can't. Who
yeah.
knows?
These tools bring out such like fun ideas. Like who would have thought all that hair would tumble out of Batman's cowl, I love that. And
Yeah.
and without having done it with this like little bit of structure, like had we said do a comic about Batman, we I don't know what to do, but anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Thanks, Cher. That's awesome. We'll go to Joanne next.
Hi everyone. So I think I was very confused over this, but I got a few things on there. So yeah, lamppost, it reminded me of wait a second, it's about to take away my hand. It reminded me, I lived in South Orange, New Jersey, which was lit by gaslight, and I was thinking about night walks. And then I thought about how peaceful that was, and so I drew myself sort of levitating on a cloud underneath. And then which peaceful made me think of like a Buddha meditating in the library. And then things that he might do was prowl around, try sitting in different spots, see some people, have uncomfortable encounters with people. He gets lost in the stacks and starts reading. So anyway, he's meditating and in the library, but it just annoys somebody. And I think he says, you meditate more quietly.
I love that.
And then he says, well, I thought I was meditating quietly. And he goes, grrr. And then, yeah, and then he's like heavy breathing. Yeah, so he just becomes very confused. I don't really resolve it the way, but
No, that's a great setup. Yeah, like a guy meditating and somebody's like, you're too loud. Yeah, that's you could do a lot with that.
yeah.
That's great.
Thank you. It was fun.
Excuse me. Awesome. Thanks, Joanne. Let's see, remove spotlight. Dana, I'll show you mine. You want to see it?
Oh, yeah, please.
Okay. I don't always share, but when we have time, I do. Let's see. How do I add to spotlight? There we go. Okay. And it's funny because when I share, then I realize how hard it is because everybody's like backwards and forwards, or left is right and right is left. And
Yeah,
you can't read
exactly.
it, and I'm like, I know, so bad. All right. So that's Richard Dreyfuss in Close Encounters, he's making a giant devil's tower, but he's doing it in the library. And since you said he has to say I'm scared, he says I'm scared. Okay.
Yeah.
So your character, although I couldn't get it right, sort of says you look scared. All right, super simple, right?
Yes.
And then panel 3, he says, if the aliens come, they'll take me. And at this point, like I had no idea what I was going to write in panel 4. I was like, this is dumb. Yeah. But you said the truth is, and I liked that. And then he says, the truth is, I really want an art show. Like, he was getting into the sculpture of it, you know?
Didn't
So
they do it with mashed potatoes in the movie?
he did it with both. He started with mashed
Oh, I
potatoes, and then he built
I
it
only remember the mashed potatoes. What did he end up doing it in?
like mud and clay in his living
Really?
room.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
great. I love that scene.
Amazing. Oh, wow. They actually say
know
like if
about
you're in improv, like if your scene is, again, not an expert, but like sometimes, you're in a scene and like it's going off the rails. Like one thing you can do to save it is just like have a character confess something. And then
Oh,
it's kind of change direction. But yeah, so it's a good save.
have a character confess. I never heard that one because I only got to 101. Okay, we got one other hand up. Usually we see Edgar by this point, but maybe Edgar's not here today. Christian wants to share. Christian, are you ready?
No, not really. Not really ready.
Okay, well, I think we're winding down, so maybe next time. Um, Dana, I could talk about improv all day. I don't know if people want to hear that though. Do you want to like, oh wait, there's Edgar. Oh my gosh. But Dana, before we go to Edgar, oh, and Sophia, awesome. Have you been having fun on stage? Like, is it really kind of like exciting?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I think no, there's a moment before you go on stage immediately, and I'm like, this was a terrible idea. I don't know what I was thinking. And then yeah, I guess you had a similar feeling,
No, I
right?
hated it. I hated it
Did it
completely.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But I love being in class. The performance, like I would give anything to not have to erase that out of my past.
Kidding. Okay. Yeah, maybe I guess I mean you're a solitary guy. You like comics and
All right, we'll see. We'll go to Edgar. Here we go.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Tom, and thank you,
Edgar.
Dana, for the inspiration. Let me show you. I had 3 words, and my words were howitzer, how are you, and Hakawi. And so I titled it We're the Hakawis. Let me get closer here. And let's see. It's 1966, and Fraser and I are watching the ABC television show Combat when something bizarre happens. Checkmate, King 2. This is White Rook, over. White Rook, this is King 2, over. This is Sergeant Saunders. Tell Lieutenant Hanley the Germans are using howitzers, over. King 2, we're sending someone to help. Roger, King 2, out. When who should emerge from the forest but legendary funny man Phil Silvers as Sergeant Bilko. Howitzers, eh? How are you, Sergeant Saunders? Glad to see you, Bilko. We need a slick character to get us out of here. Phil Silvers has a flash of inspiration. Glad to see you. Hey, Saunders, you're a genius. Sounds like a great name for a production company after the war. How's that? I think I'll produce Gilligan's Island. When all of a sudden, strangely clad soldiers appear. Did someone say Hakawi? Oh, no. Is F Troop here too? Tell Lieutenant Hanley. The ever-loving end.
Wow. That's incredible.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the inspiration. I never would have thought of it.
Yeah, no, you built such a rich world from from this. This is amazing.
So I'm going from 1960s television. They were all on the same year in 1966. Gilligan's Island and F Troop and Combat. You can look them up.
Edgar, you're such a maximalist.
I try. I try.
Thanks so much, Edgar. Okay.
You bet.
All right, we'll go to Sophia next. Here we go.
Hi, I love improv, and I was more absorbed just like watching, so I feel like I didn't follow instructions so great, but I had fun along the way. I started with goldfish crackers, and that reminded me of the teenagers that work or that hang out at the library that I work at. They don't work there. I work there. And then teenagers brought me to bicycle, and so the character turned into like a sentient bicycle. And then I drew the bicycle at a bar, and the bartender is an air pump, and the bicycle is eavesdropping on a couple of razor scooters on a date. So I really liked that part, but then yeah, it continued into my cat being the character that I chose, my little black cat, and she's saying, "I'm worried I'll never eat again." And she's saying it to the sentient bicycle, and the bicycle's like, "I see you're scared." And then it's a close up of my cat, and she's saying, "She's never coming back." And then I really liked your interjection of saying like the reality is, or the truth is, or whatever. So I used meanwhile, and it's just me locking my door. So a view of my house from outside, and it says like, "I'm just heading off to my part-time job. I'll be back in 4 hours." So kind of feel like it's about my objects, maybe like about my bicycle and my cat. But yeah, I really liked the journey.
A bicycle and at a bar with a bike pump, and that is such a good setup.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. So thank you.
That's great. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Michael next. Let's see. I'm gonna do the little thing here. Hang on a second.
Hi, Dana. It was me who said I'm obsessed with the Herald, so I hope that's not why you said that disclaimer about the Herald.
Oh no, like I said, I need to pick your brain. So you went pro, it sounds like.
Well, yeah, it's a long story. We can talk about some other time.
Sure, yeah, of course, yeah.
And I apologize because my brain was bouncing all over the place, but I went from lamppost to moth, and then the camouflage in the moth reminded I must be in Edgar's headspace.
Yeah.
Reminded me of R.D. Johnson's character on Laugh-In, where he's either this German soldier or a Russian soldier. I couldn't even remember, but he's always hiding in the bushes saying very interesting, sort of parting the bushes. So then for the other part, so I put him in the library. And he's saying, I am sad because I don't feel very interesting. And then the second character is the moth, and the moth says, well, that's understandable. All the interesting books have been banned.
Yeah.
And he says, aha, so we have finally stuffed out democracy. Very interesting. And then I couldn't think about the fourth panel until you said, have the character confess something. So he said, I haven't changed my underwear in 43 years.
That's it. That's all you need.
It makes no sense, but at least Tom laughed. I don't think anybody under 50 would get the Arden Johnson reference, but
I didn't know, but I think that I can see a well-constructed comic when I see one. This is great. And yeah, that seems like a good use of a confession to me.
Edgar in the chat says he loves Artie Johnson, so you got
of course Edgar does.
Stamp of approval.
Anyway, thanks. This was a lot of fun, Dana.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Michael. All right, we've got Holly next, and then Gail. Let's see. See if Holly's ready to come on.
Hey.
I think we can't see you yet, Holly.
No, what's wrong with my camera? I'm having a camera issue. I might have to.
Yeah, try and get it sorted out. We'll go to Gail. We'll go to Gail now. And then oh, Holly got it. Hang on. Holly and then Gail.
Okay. So I started with the wow, this is tricky.
Oh, yeah, now it's blur. You have a blur on your filter. So see if you can
come back to me. I'm sorry.
Okay, sure. That's going to be in video settings. And we will. There we go, Gail.
Hi, this was fun, although hard for me. So I started with a lamppost and then park and tree, and a character in a tree would be, of course, a squirrel. And then I decided just to go with your setting. So I put him in the library. And he arrives at the library and he's looking for a book to help me impress my gal.
Sure, why not?
I was hoping to find an acorn cookbook,
Yeah.
but I don't see any. He's in the cookbook section. So then he meets a librarian. Can I help you find something, young man? Yes, I'm looking for an acorn recipe book to help me woo my honey. And she says, "Oh, that's in our special squirrel section on the basement level. Here, let me show you. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you."
Wow.
I love the library having a squirrel section.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the library actually does have a squirrel section. It is, I looked it up. It's 599.36. That's where
Wow.
I mean, obviously it's not for squirrels, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, wow. Okay. That's do you have like a library science degree? Are you
no, that's the Dewey Decimal System.
Okay, no, I'm impressed. I would not know how to look that up.
I Googled it.
Okay.
You can just Google Dewey Decimal Number for anything. I did the same thing with cookbooks.
Oh, okay.
He was in the cookbook section, but it really wasn't appropriate for a squirrel. That's why it's funny that, yeah.
That's great. Yeah, no, I think another thing that principal I'd even talk about this, but I think it's true for everything, but it's be specific is another rule of thumb for humor. Like it's funnier if you say like Dewey Decimal System and squirrel section of library than just like, you know, rodent section or like, oh yeah, woodland, you know, like getting into those nitty gritty details is it just makes it way funnier. So thank you for that. That's awesome.
Thanks, it was fun.
Yeah.
Awesome, Gail. Thank you. Let's see. Let's see if Christian is ready. I don't know if Christian can hear us. Maybe not. Anyway, well, Dana, thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys.
It's really, it's so, these kinds of things are so fun. And like, I have this weird, I just love improv so much and I love watching it. And I loved trying it. And you were so right about it keeping you in the present, you know, like to me, you know, actually, I'll do my one. I don't like geek out about Linda Barry that often, but I'll do it right now.
Oh,
When
please.
I took a writing workshop with Linda Barry a long time ago, 2001, and and uh, and then maybe weeks later, or maybe months later, I took my first improv class, and Linda and I were in correspondence then. And like, I thought she was gonna be disappointed that I wasn't drawing or writing. And I said, Linda, I started taking improv, and she says like, oh, improv is so much like what I'm talking about in the writing. It's like
Oh,
so,
interesting.
yeah,
Okay.
and it was so much, yeah. Anyway, and it's just so much about that. That's the thing I got out of it the most was like that it was about staying in the moment and that it could also be fun to stay in the moment, you know.
Oh
And
yeah.
listening was so great too. Holly's got her hand up. What's up, Holly? Oh wait, I have to ask her to unmute. Go ahead.
Yes. So started with the little
Oh, we
lamppost,
didn't do
which made
Holly.
me
I'm
think.
sorry. I forgot. Sorry, because the hand dropped and okay, here we
That's
go.
okay,
I'm so
no
sorry.
problem.
Here we go.
So then I went to like a post office drop-off box. And then that made me think of like a little surprise box, like a surprise in a box. And so my surprise turned into this little character who's a surprise on a bus. That's his location and its mission, it's on a holy mission to gather all the blue socks. And then that turned into um the forward panel. So this is like, wow, this is hard. This main little character who's this like little Babylonian demon, and he's like scared by the surprise that's on the bus. And then the little surprise goes, "Fear not, don't be surprised." And the demon goes, "Don't talk to me. I'm a demon who wants nothing to do with your holy mission." And then the surprise in the fourth panel says something like, "What makes you think I'm not a demon too?"
Two peas in the pod, exactly. This is great.
Thanks, Holly.
Yeah, thank
Glad you
you.
figured out that screen. That darn Zoom hand always throws throws me, throws everybody. Anyway, Dana, do you have a copy of your book? Can you hold it up and
Yes.
tell people where to buy it? Okay, I'm gonna put it.
Thank you for the self-promotion opportunity. Yes, available where books are sold. Pretty much. Yeah. So no, if you have a copy or want to buy one, also reviews are helpful. I hate to say that, but yeah, if you want to if you have a copy and want to say something
Oh,
nice.
I know the reviews, right? I know.
But yes, but yeah, this is so great. And no, and so interesting that Linda Barry, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that she was,
A fan of improv, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it's definitely, I don't know, it opens up your thinking. And yeah, I guess, oh
cat alert.
yeah, cat alert.
Dana, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I mean it quite seriously. In a way, isn't every day for us kind of improv? I mean, we really don't know what's happening, and we have never know how other people are thinking, and especially the way the world is going now, it's completely off. It's completely off any kind of sensible,
yeah,
predictable track. Nothing makes sense as far as I could tell. So it's like it's all improv.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very well put. Exactly. Like, yeah, we're no, I think it's one of those things like once you start doing it, you kind of just realize that it's everywhere. And yeah, it's pretty much we're all improvising
and it
every
serves,
day.
yeah, and it serves you in real life, yeah.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah,
It makes
yeah.
you better, yeah. Makes you better at listening and it makes you better at responding, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm gonna ask everybody to unmute. Dana, this was awesome. I'm so glad I got to see you again.
Yeah,
And
you
I
too.
hope I'll
And
do
have
it
fun at
again
Tickets tomorrow.
in a few months.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Dana.
Dana. Everybody go buy that book.
Wonderful.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time, maybe. Hope so. Bye.